Footballers from all around the world have witnessed the fury of the referee's choice to dismiss players in crucial games through contentious red cards. Football is an intense sport that causes blood to boil and tempers to run over by players, managers, and fans alike. Even the finest athletes occasionally lose control of their emotions during key games. We've witnessed seasoned, composed athletes lose their composure and are dismissed following a fierce clash. The formation of the team is impacted by sudden red cards, which brings on headaches for the team reduced to 10 and oftentimes can lead to a loss. What are the most legendary and controversial red cards in football history? Keep watching to see the most shocking send-offs in history. When discussing historical red cards, Zinedine Zidane's red card against Italy in the FIFA World Cup is a must-see. Zidane was the driving force behind the French national team during the 2006 World Cup, playing a pivotal role in the midfield. His performance gave France a new life, and they were able to upset teams like Spain, Brazil, and Portugal to get to the World Cup final. Before his shocking play, France were in a formidable matchup against Italy. Although the Italians were able to draw the game and force extra time, Zidane was able to score early in the first extra time period on a penalty. In the second half of extra time, Zidane found himself next to Marco Materazzi. After Materazzi made an insulting remark to him about his sister, Zidane buried his head into the Italian's chest, instantly receiving a red card for this insane moment. Once France went down to 10 players and missing their maestro, they were lost as a team, and Italy went on to take the championship on penalties. Another big-time player, David Beckham, who became famous throughout his time at Manchester United before going on to Real Madrid, had his most embarrassing experiences occur when he was younger. Before the Englishman gained his fame he currently enjoys, his violent temper caused him to get sent off during a crucial match for his country. Beckham retaliated when Diego Simeone, the Argentine star, fouled him in the run of play with a leg swipe, foolishly doing so right in front of the referee. Beckham was forced to leave his pitch, with his squad left to fight until the end of regulation, and Argentina ultimately prevailed. Beckham received harsh criticism for this hot-headed moment, but he ultimately made up for it by scoring a last-minute free kick against Greece to enable England to reach the 2002 World Cup. Luis Suarez is a legendary Liverpool player who rose to greatness during his time at Barcelona, completing the MSN frontline with Messi and Neymar. The infamous handball by Luis Suarez must be included in this list. Ghana and Uruguay played 120 minutes of football in what is arguably the most memorable World Cup encounter of 2010, and penalties seemed inescapable. But with just a few seconds left, Luis Suarez blatantly saved the ball off the goal line with his hand to stop Ghana from scoring. After Suarez received his red card, Ghana had a chance to win the game with a penalty. Asamoah Gyan, unfortunately, was unable to capitalise on the chance, and Uruguay went on to win the game on penalties. Suarez's performance generated a great deal of controversy, not just because he denied Ghana victory, but also because he boasted about the handball months after the incident. As if he's not hated enough, Suarez also received a suspension when he bit Chiellini during the 2014 World Cup. Steven Gerrard will forever be known as a Liverpool legend, and he made sure his farewell game fit the fiery rivalry usually experienced during matches between Liverpool and Manchester United. The Reds skipper attacked Ander Herrera just 38 seconds after being brought on as a sub, brutally tackling the Spaniard's leg with a studs-up challenge. The least he could have hoped for was a red card, and his farewell game against Liverpool's bitter rival ended in a 2-1 loss to add insult to injury. Dutchman Robin van Persie might have been one of the most questionable red cards ever. At the Camp Nou in the 2011 Champions League round of 16, with the scores at 3-2 on aggregate, Arsenal's Van Persie was given a second yellow card for shooting on goal just seconds after the officials signalled him to be offside. A red card definitely shouldn't have been issued, given that Van Persie probably couldn't hear the referee over the crowd of over 90,000 screaming supporters. Barcelona scored twice to move on to the quarter-final, costing Arsenal dearly as a result of the red card. Whenever you see a goalkeeper receive a red card, typically it follows the denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity, not what happens afterwards. Due to a contentious late penalty, Juventus was eliminated from the Champions League quarter-finals in 2018 by Real Madrid. Buffon led the demonstrations over the judgment, shouting visibly in the referee's face as Juventus players surrounded him. After that, the ref had no choice but to give the angry Italian a red card. The goalkeeper's Champions League career with Juventus came to an end after Ronaldo scored the penalty and eliminated Juventus. After receiving a controversial red card against Valencia in 2018, Cristiano Ronaldo's Champions League debut for Juventus swiftly turned into a nightmare. However, it was a relatively minor affair in comparison to some more notable dismissals. In the 29th minute of Juventus' 2-0 victory over Valencia, Ronaldo, who cost Juventus €112 million in July 2018, collided with Valencia's Jason Murillo just outside the box. Murillo fell, and Ronaldo, apparently displeased by what he thought to be overdone theatrics, seemed to grasp the Colombian's hair, prompting a reaction and the ensuing red card. In the Spanish Super Cup a year prior, Ronaldo was suspended after pushing the match official who had just sent him off as well, a less than perfect display from the poster boy of modern football. England believed they had a good opportunity to win the 2006 World Cup going into the quarter-final, but they had to beat Portugal first. Wayne Rooney has always been known for his intensity and ferocity when playing the game, and he was sent off in the 62nd minute for stamping on Ricardo Carvalho's groin. After being confronted by numerous Portuguese players, the referee reacted by dismissing Rooney. There was a video of Cristiano Ronaldo winking shortly after assisting in the dismissal of a teammate from Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo was largely to blame for England's collapse as they ultimately lost to Portugal on penalties. During a matchup between Croatia and Australia, one of the bizarre occasions at the 2006 World Cup occurred. Josip Simunik of Croatia received 3 yellow cards during a game. The event occurred during the Australia and Croatia's Group F clash, when Simunik fouled Harry Kewell in the 61st minute, earning him his first yellow card. In the 90th minute, he received a second yellow card. But shockingly, the referee did not immediately give him a mandatory red. Simunik shoved the referee after the final whistle. As a result, he received a red card in the end, in addition to a third yellow card. Portuguese legend Pepe was sent off in the first leg of the 2011 Champions League semi-final for what was deemed to be a careless challenge on Dani Alves. Barcelona won 2-0 as a result of Pepe's dismissal. Both goals were scored after Pepe was dismissed. Jose Mourinho, the manager of Real Madrid, received a 5-match suspension following the game, which was later reduced to 3, for making disparaging comments over the ejection. Pepe's tackle and other contentious decisions that went against Madrid are shown in a video that Real Madrid later produced. The Battle of Nuremberg was the name of the match between Portugal and the Netherlands. Not just one player, but the entire game was infamous for its numerous bookings and altercations. An all-time high number of cautions were issued during this round of 16 match in the 2006 World Cup. In this tightly contested match between the two nations, the referee issued 4 red cards and 16 yellow cards, setting a World Cup record. 2 Portuguese players, Costinha and Deco, were each given a red card. Giovanni van Bronckhorst and Khalid Bolarus were sent off for the Dutch team. Finally, a Maniche goal gave Portugal the victory to win the tie. The whole South Korean World Cup campaign in 2002 can be characterised as contentious, but the encounter against Italy in the round of 16 was the tournament's most obvious example of this. Italy was denied what seemed to be a perfectly fine goal for offside after the game was unexpectedly tied after extra time. Francisco Totti received his second yellow card of the game shortly after for what the referee deemed to be a dive. Replays revealed that Totti didn't appear to be diving, opposite to what the referee initially called, and instead appeared to trip on his own feet. A few minutes later, South Korea scored the game-winning goal to advance to the World Cup semi-finals. Cantona created a moment of mayhem in a Premier League game that most certainly won't be forgotten in English football. Whatever was said to the Frenchman remains a mystery, but something pushed him over the edge, and he exploded. In a moment of bewilderment, Cantona launched a flying kung fu kick at a supporter of Crystal Palace as he turned to face the stand behind one of the goals. In addition to being suspended by United and the FA, he was also found guilty of assault. His 2-week prison term was reduced to 120 hours of community service. Red cards can be costly for the player and the team and can have a lingering effect that will cost the club both on and off the field, with additional suspensions and costly fines. Only a few teams have ever managed to win a crucial game with 10 men due to red cards, which have historically been a nightmare for teams.